Let's set the record straight on emojis. I'm Taylor.
I'm Britt.
I'm Nikayla.
And I'm Scott.
For our presentation, we've decided to dive into the world of emojis and look into their deep connection to the way we communicate and interpret communication. Here's a quick look into the use of emojis in everyday life.
Since they first appeared on our shores early in this decade, these charming, versatile and intelligent figures have captured our hearts. They've become part of the very fabric of our society. We've embraced them in our workplaces and offices. They've found a place in our schools. Our children adore them. We've even welcomed them into our homes. They are called emojis. But as with any widespread influx of characters into an ecosystem, their arrival has also presented some challenges. Emoji may sometimes confuse us. Emoji may aggravate us. And sometimes we may completely misunderstand their intentions. And yet emoji have become, for better or worse, integral to the way we communicate, live and behave. We use them as accessories to enhance our style and reflect our moods and personalities. They've spawned a thriving, multifaceted economy. We cultivate and support them, and in turn, they support us. What does the future hold for emoji? No one can say for sure. But as long as these colorful, friendly, and useful companions continue to fascinate us, their future seems very bright indeed.
Emojis have greatly affected the way we communicate in everyday life. We can have complete conversations by just using emojis. For example, adding the winking face emoji helps to create a tone and indicate a joke rather than a serious statement. One can even order pizza by just texting the pizza slice emoji to Domino's. Emojis tell a story through their bright images and expressions.
The Theory of Narrative Paradigm by Walter Fisher explains how meaningful conversation happens when individuals tell stories. Fisher claims that stories are more persuasive than arguments, and human beings are better able to understand information through stories. This theory directly ties into the use of emojis. Emojis have become a more personal form of communication. They create stories and connections between individuals. We are better able to interpret emotions and tell stories through these emoticons, especially when you're without face-to-face interaction. While narrative paradigm is all about storytelling, it's very important to note that emojis in themselves tell a story.
Looks like this or this look like hieroglyphics to you. You might rightly wonder if emojis are making us dumb. Why speak in cartoons? Or as you might say to a toddler, use your words. But British linguist Viv Evans says emojis are actually making us better communicators and could even help our relationships. That's because emojis add context we miss when we're not face-to-face. A text that says, "Sure, go ahead," with a kissy face would read more like, "Sure, go ahead," with a different one. In that way, emojis are expressing what we might normally convey in person with a gesture, facial expression, or tone. Evans' research found that 72% of 18 to 25-year-olds find it easier to express their emotions using emojis. And a Match.com survey of singles in America found that people who use emojis went on more dates and were more likely to have sex than those who didn't. If that's not enough of an endorsement, we'll give it this.
From the research we conducted on emojis, our findings fell under several categories. For this presentation, we will focus on emojis in history, in the courtroom, in our personal relationships, and in global trends.
While many people see emojis as a relatively new phenomenon, in reality the use of symbols to convey meaning is one of the most basic institutions in the evolution of human language and shared knowledge. It is the oldest form of literacy and communication. We can date the use of symbols all the way back to the beginning with cave writings by cavemen. Pictorial histories and other cave art are the earliest forms of preserved, pre-human and early human communications. As civilizations grew, so did the nature of their storytelling. Depiction served as a useful purpose, from showing where to put a spear when hunting to conveying accepted cultural norms. It seems this method has come full circle, as in today's time we now use emojis daily to communicate with friends and family.
Emojis hold a lot of power in the way we communicate and the message we are trying to convey. They have become a part of our language, and research has been conducted in modern day as to whether emojis should be used as evidence in courtrooms or not. Legal experts have claimed that emojis are under our First Amendment right as freedom of speech. Experts feel they can make this claim because places like the Library of Congress accepted a copy of Moby Dick made up completely of emojis, and the Oxford English Dictionary accepted the heart symbol to mean to heart or to love. Emojis are changing communication and shed light on the context of messages.
Research into the use of digital symbols such as emojis has revealed their usefulness in sustaining interpersonal relationships. These little pictures that have become a huge part of our texting communication aren't just means of conveying thoughts. They also can lift your spirits, inspire joy, and even help maintain and enhance your relationships. For example, we aren't literally laughing until we cry when we send that smiley with tears emoji, but sending it after a friend makes a joke reaffirms the friendship. Emojis can be a powerful emotional communication tool because the users define what the characters mean. Because of this, they become personal to the users, creating this deeper relationship. The little images clarify meaning, and because they are cartoon-like glyphs, it's difficult to threaten or take offense when using an emoji. It does rather the opposite. It develops relationships. This brings us to our last finding, global interpretations of emojis.
Emojis are not just unique to American communication, but emojis are used all around the world. Emoji used by country varies greatly. You could even say that there are different dialects of emoji. For instance, the image of two hands held together means praying or hoping in the West, but it is read as please or thank you in Japan. Let's take a look at some other global emoji trends.
After looking at the past and present, it is clear to see that symbols are an important way to communicate. Emojis add to the tone and context of a message and help people communicate more effectively. So what do emojis mean for the future of communication? Here's a quick video to show what the future might look like.
Statistics are clear. Crime is on the rise in this country, and it's time for some serious change in policy. Oh, you're done. Okay, I'd just like to remind both candidates that we do have an emoji-enabled multimedia screen at your disposal, and you are encouraged to use it. Right, I just told myself that passionate discourse might be a little more appropriate for a debate like this. Right, yeah, it definitely seems like you did tell yourself that. Alright, Mr. Smith, what do you think of the crime rate in this country? Excellent. Very good point and very well expressed. But he didn't say anything. Well, I think that Mr. Smith made it very clear that crime deserves a big thumbs down. Do you not agree with that? No, I mean, of course I agree. Alright, well, let's continue on to the next subject, which is global warming. Mr. Jones? Right, well, this is actually a very important topic that I think merits some verbal discussion. See, all the world's top scientists agree that global warming... Oh, I'm sorry. It's just that wasn't very dynamic at all, was it? So you're done, though? No, not at all, actually. I was just starting. Fantastic. All right, Mr. Smith, global warming, your thoughts? Wow, a nice, healthy forest. That's what you want to see. Those are some good-looking trees. That's 3 trees. That doesn't mean anything. So at this point, we'd like to have a little fun and get to know you both a little more personally. Mr. Smith, we'll start with you to keep this lively. Oh. What's something that you enjoy? Oh, Mr. Smith likes to bike ride. It is important to stay active. Mr. Jones, your turn. Okay. I'll play along with the little game. Okay. Mr. Jones, would you care to explain what you like so much about feces? Is that not the ice cream emoji? That's not chocolate ice cream? Nope, Mr. Jones, that is a poop with some eyeballs. Also, he's smiling. Okay, just give me 1 second. Wow, okay, Mr. Jones, are you admitting during a debate that you enjoy killing dogs? No, I was trying to say that I had a dog that I loved very much, but he passed away recently. Okay, and maybe you can explain why you killed your dog? Okay, I didn't kill my dog. Look, I might not be very good with emojis and hashtags and GIFs or GIFs or whatever, but I am very passionate and well-informed on the important issues. If that sounds good to you, then vote for me. If, on the other hand, you want some surface-level candidate that expresses himself through emojis because it gives you some kind of emotional response, then I recommend you vote for Mr. Smith. Mr. Jones, very well said.
Hopefully our future doesn't look exactly like the video just depicted, but the past has proven that emojis are an important part of our culture and has changed the way we communicate.